joined now by the pole winner for the 103rd running of the Indianapolis 500 presented by Gamebridge, Simon Pagenaud, in the number 22 Menard Chevrolet for Team Penske, his team owner Roger, joining us here in the Media Center. Gentlemen, thank you so much for your patience. I know it's been very exciting past few minutes, probably less than an hour actually for you. But Roger, extending that record of poles here at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway at the Indy 500 to your 18th pole, what an accomplishment for the team. Talk to us about extending that record.
Well, I think when you look at Simon's run today, it was amazing to see the consistency over 230, which looked like Mears was qualifying there back in the old days. But I just want to congratulate him in front of all of you. It was, we had 4 good cars. He was strong all month, and I think when we had to execute, there was certainly one guy that was going to get on the pole, and that was Simon. They were all month they've been on the ball, and then of course the momentum coming off the road course when you got to think about that too. So, combined a couple of weeks here has been terrific. Now we have to go on and get the big one.
And Simon Pagenaud, Simon, I have a stat that you should be very proud of. First Frenchman to win pole since René Thomas in 1919. That was 100 years ago this year, Simon. As a Frenchman from your country, but also just personally, what this pole means to you?
Well, it's not just me. Obviously, it's my whole team behind me that propelled me to here. So it's a team effort. But obviously, super happy for France. I think this sport is a sport that I know France would really enjoy, and they do. So this can only help getting the recognition over there and in Europe. So obviously, also having Alonso here was great for that. But it's a team effort. I can't take this for myself. This is truly what Team Penske does, and they give us the best equipment. Quite frankly, I'm at the very, very end of it all. So I'm just very honored to drive this 22 Chevy Menards, which honestly was incredible today.
Simon, there's 1.8040 seconds separating your time from the time of our last qualifier, Kyle Kaiser. That's the closest field in Indianapolis 500 history.
1 second.
Could you take us through what the competitiveness of the field and what that means for you as you're trying to win in the Indianapolis 500?
Yeah, I think it's, IndyCar has done a great job with the Universal Hero Kit. I think every cars are so close these days, and it's very difficult to make a difference. Personally, on our side, Team Penske, we focus number one priority is Indianapolis. So we focus on that. The goal is to win the race, and that's where we put all the effort, as much effort as we can. And then the rest of the year is also a big focus. But you can see that all the teams are raising their game, all the drivers are raising their game as well. And it's honestly tremendous to be in this era of the sport, because you get better and better every weekend, and it never stops.
Questions for Simon and Mr. Penske? Yes, Wolfgang.
I have 2 again. One for Roger Penske, one for Simon. Roger, during the last row shootout, it was mentioned by the commentator that your team, and I also think it was mentioned, Andretti, gave technical data sheets to Team McLaren. Did they approach you, or just you gave?
I didn't hear the question. Say it again. I'm sorry.
Yeah, during the last row shootout, it was mentioned by the commentator that Team McLaren got data sheets from your team and also I think Team Andretti for some technical help. Did you go to them, or they came to you?
No, they had no data sheets from us, not at all. I mean, I talked to Jill and to Zach this morning on a completely different subject, but they told me they had gotten a setup last night and put it on the car, so we had nothing to do with their setup.
Okay. And then second question for Simon, I apologize if it is very personal. In case with also your success here in America and IndyCar, just a speculation question, the Formula One team will knock at your door. What will be your reaction?
I'm sorry to tell you, I'm really happy with Roger, and I love what I do here. I've got a lot more things to accomplish here. My goal is to win Indianapolis. I'm here to win Indy, and that's what I'm focused on.
Bruce.
Roger, at your shop a couple of weeks ago, I interviewed Kyle Moyer and Simon, and they both said that after last year, the team really needed to turn things around and win bad. It looks like he's really turned things around up here. How important is it to win the pole for the Indy 500, coming right off the heels of him winning the IndyCar Grand Prix?
Well, winning the Indy Grand Prix obviously is a precursor to the momentum, which we've done here for 3 or 4 years now. And Simon, was committed. You watched him run in the in that road race and in the water. I've never seen a run like that in my life. And then to come on here to win the pole, I think he's got great momentum. And Kyle said to me, you know, it looks like Pagenaud showed up.
I'm here.
Good stuff. All good.
Tim.
So I think Joseph ran before you did, and you know, obviously didn't post anywhere near what you did. But how much of a sharing was there from a setup situation with you guys, and were you concerned when you saw that, or did you know you had gone probably another direction?
Look, we share every single information. I know by heart Will's setup, I know Joseph's setup, and Elio's, and we share everything. There's cameras on the car. We look at lines. We look at all the details. We can, you know, shifting points, gears. I mean, everything. You can only imagine that the engineers work all together. We sit around the table at the end of the day and share everything that we went through. That's quite amazing. I mean, this team is really, really strong at that. And again, I've said it all year long, but that's exactly what we did after last season. And that's why you see the team is really, really, really strong right now. I think that's what you have to do when you have 4 cars, and that's the advantage you can get out of it. But you know, when you're sitting in the car and going for your run, you just think about what you're going to do yourself and execute. You can't really worry about anything else.
Other questions? Yes.
Roger, when you came here like 50-some years ago, did you ever dream that all this time here you are sitting up on podium again about winning, what is it, your 18th 500, something like that?
Not many of us were here then, were we? No, look, you know, when I came here with my dad probably, and when you think about 51, that's when I really came for the first time. And remember, we sat down off the 4th corner, could hardly see the cars go by, and I guess at that point, you know, I was injected with motor racing and, you know, really wanted to drive here. And then, as you know, I couldn't take my test, and Andretti took it. So you think 50 years for each of us, and to, you know, come here and have the record that we have is tremendous. But as Simon said, you know, my name might be on the side of the car, but, you know, it's hundreds of people. I think this year we counted to be 774 people in the garage that are working on these 4 cars experience with us. And I think that continuity has made the difference. But, you know, I've said it before, it's a brand builder for us. I mean, we build our brand around the country with the success at Indy. There's no place like it. Everybody wants to win here. And to me, you know, something that I want to do as long as I can. I don't want to sit up in the suite during a race. I want to be on the ground, and I think that's how we run our business.
Other questions? Bruce?
Roger, you tried Formula One earlier in your career, and Zach Brown brought McLaren over here this year to try to do it with his own team. Do you think there's a lot of people in Formula One tonight that are looking at IndyCar and say, maybe that series is a lot stronger than we thought it was?
Well, I don't think that we can say anything about the series. I think that Zach and Jill and certainly Fernando, you know, go home very disappointed. I've had the same thing. Remember, with 2 drivers in '95 after we had, you know, sat on the pole, we led every lap but 2 in '94 and then didn't make the race, you know, with 2 cars. So, and, you know, when you walk down the pit lane with your driver after that, it really injects something else into you, how you got to come back and be stronger. But I would never count them out. And as far as Formula One, you know, we had, I guess, the last American team to win a race with John Watson in Austria. So, but we saw it as a business that was not in the U.S. We wouldn't get the benefit out of that. So we focused on certainly IndyCar and sports cars and obviously NASCAR. But I think a lot of people, you know, we're anxious to see Alonso run. That's the only disappointment I have, certainly, is that the whole Formula One world, you know, would have been tuned in for this race. So that's a shame, obviously, for the fans, but more important, you know, I'm sorry to see those guys not make it.
Yeah, Roger, not that Simon's ever been a slug, but the last month or so, it seems like there's kind of almost a rejuvenation, for want of another term. And I was going to ask Simon, you know, what's kind of different now too? Do you feel a little bit of a little more electricity? What do you sense from that?
Well, he came with us the first year. You know, we kind of gave him a pass, and that he knocked it off, won the championship. So I think he's just back. You follow me? No, he's done a great job. And the pressure on the team. You asked earlier about, you know, the transparency. these guys sit side by side and face to face at every race. They look at everything. There's nothing, you know, the crew chiefs, the mechanics, everybody else, there's full transparency, and I think that's one of the things we've been successful in. We want them to be within a tenth of a second each one of them. If they're not, the other one wants to, and I think that sharing, and I think with certainly the three full-time, you know, with Simon and certainly Joseph and Will, I mean, it's a very close bond. I mean, we have fun together, and on the other hand, when it's time to go, and I think Simon is just, hey, he's hit his stride, and I think it's a terrific record so far this year.
Since you have two Simon, I mean, like I said, you've never been a slug, but
I never knew you were a slug.
I
You never heard that from me,
I
did you?
didn't. Nope,
I
never.
called you other
You
things,
never
but not
did.
a
You
slug.
never said anything like that. No, it's listen. It's I think life goes by cycle, right? I think you hit your stride sometimes when you manage to put everything together and the stars aligned. Quite frankly, in 16, for example, that's exactly what happened. In 15 was a different season. 18, I personally struggled to adapt to this new car, but I worked hard. Tried to understanding how I could adjust my driving, and the team helped me. It's very supportive at giving me what I needed, and I think we're showing that we finally got to open up my confidence again, and that's where we're at. So this is what strong teams do, and this is what strong drivers do together.
Any other questions? Yes, sir.
Congratulations, Pagenaud. One question. Your contenders right now in the first roll, they're going to start to take their turns to work together. At which point, you just mentioned us that you're just working the car and run for yourself, okay, or for your own. At which point of the race your team lets you go to win the race?
Well, I think you build your race as it goes. It's a long race, 500 miles. I think at the beginning you test the water. Sorry. You try to see how your car behaves in the front of the field, and that's going to be a luxury. And then it's very important to also see how the car behaves in traffic. So then, if something happened, you can find a way to pass people. So that's really going to be the name of the game. You also have fuel saving during the race, which is a very important thing to do, saving your tires, having clean pit stops. There's a lot that goes into it. There's a lot of execution that you have to put together to go to the end of the race and win. So, obviously the last 30 laps is really where you need to position yourself and be ready to attack. So that's going to be what we're going to try to do.
Any final questions? Yes, Wolfgang.
Simon, technical question. You just mentioned fuel saving. Before the race or before each Indy 500, can you simulate it? Is that a possibility?
Yeah, you can. I mean, that's what next week is all about, is working on race setup, working in traffic. Obviously, we are ahead of the program, so, we have a very strong car underneath us, so we have, again, the luxury to do things like that and work toward the race. So I'm excited about testing on Monday and see how far we can take the car, but so far we're very happy.
Simon, Mr. Penske, congratulations.
Thank you.